Astrology is really dumb, to be honest. Okay, not really. The one thing that is really dumb is when I record like a 20-minute long YouTube video and then I don't realize until after that I had like a piece of popcorn stuck in my teeth the whole time, and like I really can't upload that video. Like I can, but like I shouldn't, and I should probably re-record. That's actually stupid. So why am I saying that astrology is stupid? Why am I saying that on my astrology YouTube channel that I'm building and I'm focused on building? This is a topic which I'm obviously extremely passionate about. Well, first, I wanted to get your attention and hook you, right? People on YouTube say you're supposed to like hook the audience. I find that like a little gimmicky, but maybe you gotta kind of play the game a little bit. And if it wasn't evident already, I'm going a little off the cuff on this video because I just feel like I need a little change of pace. When I started uploading astrology content, I started at the beginning of March, and my goal was basically to upload at least one TikTok video a day, every day for like a long time. I don't know how long, like some months, and just kind of see what would happen. And cool things happened. The channel like really got big and popular, and it's now close to like 100,000 followers. And then in the last couple of months, like my goal is much more focused on YouTube, right? I wanted to get monetized on YouTube. So my goal was upload a video a day as much as possible. And I haven't completely hit that metric, but over the last month, I've been close, right? I've probably uploaded about 20 something videos in the last 30, 35 days, which is a lot. And you have to balance quality versus quantity, right? Or you should. So I'm trying my best to do that. I really am. Although if you've watched my video about retrograde Mars placements, you might question my commitment to that. I actually was like taking a sip of water, like had this giant water stain on my shirt, and it was so late and I just wanted to get this video out. I was like, I don't care, I'm just gonna film this with this ambiguous stain, and maybe it will affect my views or maybe it won't, but I'm uploading this bad boy tonight. All right, that was a tangent. I do actually have a point for this video though, and it is somewhat related to the hook that I started with, that astrology is really kind of dumb and stupid sometimes. That's all hyperbole. I don't really mean that. But I do believe that it's important to keep in perspective that astrology is just one kit in the toolkit, and your toolkit may be different, you know, or the reasons that you approach or explore astrology can be different from mine. And that's great. That makes for more interesting communities around talking about astrology and learning about it. For me, astrology has always been primarily a tool for self-development, personal growth, self-understanding, learning how to embody the best parts of myself, learning how to align with maybe my authentic self, my talents, identify areas maybe that I could look through an astrological lens where, you know, I tend to self-sabotage or, you know, have made, I don't love the word mistake, but have made mistakes maybe that can kind of, that looking from a astrological perspective may, you know, attach some insight. That continues to be my primary focus. You know, I follow transits. I'm very interested in relationship astrology, synastry charts, composite charts, getting a lot more into horoscopic astrology, horary astrology, forecasting astrology, sort of a growth area for me. But as it pertains to astrology as like a tool for personal growth, I think it's important to keep in mind that ultimately there's always going to be something inside all of us, you know, that we can never quite put our finger on, that is responsible for us acting out, you know, kind of the roadmap, the cosmological roadmap that we're given. The cosmological roadmap, our natal chart, it gives us clues, it gives us insights, it gives us themes, it gives us sort of, and when we look at astrological transits, it gives us a little bit of a time-based map with which we can kind of explore significant and poignant personal moments or developmental moments, experiential moments in our life, and understanding the language of astrology can maybe help us prepare for those, or at least attach some meaning, make the best of, if you will. Of course, when you're going through like a really tough Pluto transit, a really gnarly Saturn transit, it's like, what does really like help prepare you for that? Like, it's just gonna be a little bit like riding a roller coaster with no seats. Like you're just kind of sitting on a bed of nails and there's not really a track. The thing hasn't been inspected in like 50 years. There's some overgrowth. There's some like weird guys in the woods. Basically, like it's kind of terrifying and you don't know what's gonna happen. If you get out of it, get off the ride, you're probably going to leave with some insight, with some new growth. Maybe you'll die. No, I'm kidding. Pluto transit, Saturn transits are kind of scary. And that's my point, is like we can prepare a lot for them, but at the end of the day, it also requires a certain level of just presence in real life, in real moments. We can't always have the natal chart. We can't always have our transit chart out and like looking at everything, because if we're doing that, we're also missing something fundamentally that's happening. You can't study astrology while also feeling and experiencing the lessons that the language of astrology is trying to tell us, right? You can do it at the same time, like generally like, you know, put one down. Like you can do it when you're 29, you can both be experiencing things and like reading astrology. Just saying you can't do it at the exact physical time. It can't like be studying something and also paying attention to how you're feeling. And even when we're armed with all the astrological knowledge that we could ever want, like old country buffet of astrological knowledge, we can have it all. We know what transits are coming, we know who's compatible, this and that. Even then, there's still just a huge swatch of unknown, right? Because astrology moves in archetypes and themes and kind of like waves, right? It's like we know maybe where an electron is going to be. We don't know exactly where it's going to be. I feel like there's not like a lot of super hardcore scientists watching my channel, so I can get away with like using kind of like weak science metaphors that may or may not be appropriate, but like no one knows the better for it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. So we can be armed with all of that, but like there's still a sense of the unknown. And it's like Joseph Campbell has a very famous quote, I don't know the exact words, it's like, you know, the darkness that you fear, the cave that you fear holds all the treasure that you seek. It's actually our willingness to wade into the uncertain, wade into the frightening with a sense of calmness, without a sense of expectation, that is really going to help us ultimately grow. That's really the driver of growth. And we don't know what's gonna happen. And all of that requires relinquishment of control. We literally have to let go. We have all these gurus telling us, oh, let go, you know, Alan Watts, famous, let go, you know, follow like what your heart says if, you know, money was no option, right? All this stuff is easier said than done though, to be fair. I mean, Alan Watts, incredibly wise person, has given so much light and insight to generations. Also was a guy that struggled with his own demons, struggled with alcoholism. So it's like, you can understand it on an intellectual level, but it doesn't mean that, it's easier said than actually done. And as someone that, I like to pride myself as someone that's learned himself very well through using astrology and studying my natal chart. Even me, right? Like I find myself in situations where I feel like I've made mistakes, or I go through challenging times, or things that scare me, or things that part of me wishes I knew, like I had knowledge of the outcome for. And that's just kind of like not how it works. And my main point in this video is to just remind all of us that no matter how much we lean into astrology, don't let it get out of balance, right? And never forget the importance of like really being present in some hard and difficult moments, being present in hard conversations, being present and just paying attention to how you're feeling. Sometimes the best way to understand and explain something that's happening and experience is you're not going to be able to get it from like hyper looking, you know, at the charts. It'll give you clues, but sometimes you really just have to sit with those emotions. Sometimes you honestly just have to, you know, if this has to do with a relationship, you just have to talk to the other person. I get a lot of DMs asking like, is this gonna happen? Is this gonna happen? Is this gonna happen? And like, I don't have the answer that I think you think that I have. Sometimes, truthfully, most of the answers are really already inside of you. You just have to strip away enough of the delusion or the blinders in order to access that. And sometimes the best way to understand what another person is thinking or feeling is to just directly communicate with them. And not everyone is good at doing that. You're going to communicate with people that are not going to be good at communicating because, you know, they may not know what's really going on. You know, there's something inside, and so they're acting out in ways that are related. But anyway, I think I made my point. I hope everyone's having a great evening, and going to continue pumping out some great astrology videos, but just want to, you know, continue to keep perspective and remind everyone that there's a lot of, if you're on the journey towards, you know, trying to live a healthy, calm, fulfilling life full of meaning, you want to grow and figure out just how to be most aligned with your purpose. I think astrology is a great tool, but it's not the only tool, and there's also dangers or blind spots that will come if you try and frame it as something that can be a one-stop shop tool. It's not like that all-in-one drill thing, right? Like, there's other shit that you got to go to Home Depot to get, right? Astrology is just like one drill in one aisle. Home Depot is a big place. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching.